What's up, everyone? This your girl Indigo Queen. So I'm back with you about a dream. I suppose I posted this a couple of nights ago, and I tried to just let it go, but it keeps popping up in my energy. So I'm going to speak on it. I'm going to let you know right now is the times in this dream is not the present time. It appeared to me as the past. I can't tell you what year, but it was years ago. Um, Only thing I know is it was a lot of craziness going on. Um, Only thing I know is I ended up in a doom. It was a clear doom. Um, the people that was inside the doom was crying, screaming, kids scared, trying to be comforted by their parents and stuff, and people screaming, let us out. Um, of course, it was very chaotic, and I wasn't screaming or anything like that. I was basically trying to figure out what was going on. These people looked at like peasants. And I don't mean peasants as oh they beneath me or anything like that. I'm simply saying peasants like from years back where it was kings and queens and you had the people at the bottom of at the bottom the commoners, if I'm saying it right. But that's what they look like basically. On the outside of the on the outside of the doom, um, it was like a military. Um, they was watching everything go down on the inside. Nobody was hurting each other on the inside. Nobody was trying to be violent or anything like that. They were just simply crying out and screaming, "Let us out! We don't belong in here." And only thing I know is as I'm watching, I'm looking around, I'm checking out my surroundings, trying to figure out what exactly is going on, where I'm at. Nothing looked familiar. And when I end up looking right in front of me, there was this big man, okay? He was fat, he was big, like his gut was big. He was bigger than anybody that was out there, inside and outside of that doom. And when our eyes connected, um, he didn't smile or anything. He just evil eyed me. And I just stared back at him and I started hearing a hawk. Okay? And when the hawk started screaming, like you could feel like it had to be huge. This bird had to be huge because you can hear the pressure from his wings flapping while he flied around. And I'm guessing that the biggest dude out there that was eyeballing me had it attached to some type of rope because it sounded like the bird was just getting irritated because it wanted to be freed. And then every time there was a hawk, he was like pull on the rope. And like I said, me and him locked eyes and he was evil eyeing me and I'm trying to figure out still like why is this, what's going on. And the next thing I know, the hawk dived down and attacked him. Okay, once the hawk attacked him and he was murdered, it was like nobody had no more control over anything. The people somehow, the hawk crashed into the doom or something like that. It crashed. I don't know. But all the military men that was standing on the outside of the doom took off because the bird was just attacking all of them at this point. Like once he got rid of the biggest dude that was standing there, it was kind of just like picking them up every chance he got. Like each one on the outside. This gave the ones on the inside a chance to run free. They ran free, and I heard a man say he was like, "We have to get to Mr. Light." Like he of who he of he who I'm trying to say it right. It's the way he said it. Who he is he how you say that? It was weird. It won't how we talk. He who is of light. That's how he said it. He who is of light. Right? And I'm like, he who is of light, like, okay, is they talking about God? This is what I'm thinking. Like, is he talking about God? Because that's the only thing I could think about. You know what I'm saying? So they started running off. I ran behind them. And we ended up in a forest, right? Um, it wasn't really nothing bad, but as we got further deeper into it, I felt a dark presence chasing behind us. Okay. I don't know what it was, but what I saw was a dark, dark, smoky cloud. Okay. I'm saying it was smoke, but it was real dark. It was black, right? And it was real thick. Like once it passed through, was once it passed through, you can't see whatever it done went through. Like, it's gone. Like, it's in the dark and it stayed dark, right? So the deeper we got into the forest, there was a light at the end. It wasn't a tunnel, but it was as if um it was like a little pathway, but it had plants and vines and all this type of stuff like over it, but you could see the light coming from underneath it. So we ran that way, and he was like, he who light, will be right outside this area. So we ran right on through it, and we were running, and I noticed that the light got dimmer the closer we got to the end of this light. Okay. And so at this point now I'm confused, because I'm like, had the darkness already succumbed us and we don't know it? Okay, because we no longer heard the people that were screaming that did get swallowed up in the darkness. Um, so we continued to run, and at this point it's not a lot of us. You can count on one hand. And when we got up there was a throne. This was a giant, okay, and there was a throne. And there was a man on the throne. He was not ugly. And he had long, silky white hair. And he had a gold crown on his head, okay? Now, the same man that was saying, let's go to he who is of light, was like, help us, help us, help us. And this man would not say anything. And I'm like, if he is light, you know, if he is God, like, why is he not doing anything? Like, he's seeing these people. So I started hearing him say stuff, but when I looked at him, his lips was not moving. And these people were just crying to him, bowing down to him. And I'm like, something's not right. So I'm observing the area, because at this point, there's no light. The light that we seen going through the path was no longer to be seen. It was dim. When I say it was a dim light, it was dim. It was as if we never ran out the forest. We were still in it, to keep it hot with you, because I still saw the trees surrounding it. It was just a space filled with just pretty grass. Like, the grass was pretty, nothing looked dead or anything, but the light was dim. And the more I paid attention to him, the more dimmer he looked. Okay. So like I said, the men and women were just crying out to him, help us, it's coming. And I'm hearing this man talk, but like I said, he couldn't have been talking out loud, because from what he was saying, they would have not been doing what they were doing. The bowing down, the kissing his feet, pleading to him, help us, God save us, all that type of stuff. They would have been stopped, because he was saying, I'm so sick of it. Like, why is they bothering me? Like, oh Lord, here we go with this. I guess since everybody running through the forest now, something dark must be coming for everybody to be coming this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knew, like, the way it was so much sarcasm in it, that what he was saying. And I'm just looking at him like, what in the world? So then I noticed his appearance, other than his hair and a crown. He had on a white gown, okay? He, of course, the accessories he had on were gold. Everything was gold. All his accessories were gold, and his clothing on him was white, but they were dirty. And I don't mean like dirty like he been playing in dirt. I mean like instead of being pure white, it was as if he was playing like got caught in some smoke. Like you know how if some type of fire happened inside a house and that house got white walls and you can tell where the smoke was at, where the fire could leave like smoke residue, that's what his clothes looked like. And at that point I realized this is a false god. And these people do not realize it. Like I'm seeing this and I'm like, they don't see what I see. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he was just sitting there nonchalant. Like, he didn't say anything to them. He didn't move. Matter of fact, the nigga slanted over in the chair. Okay? So, I don't know what's going on. But, yesterday and today, I just kept getting downloads about this dream. And it's like, it don't make no sense. But the only thing I could get is, and I know this may rub a lot of people the wrong way. But, as far as religion, a lot of us was brought up in the church house, correct? To be religious. Um, but the thing is, I'm trying to find the best way to put this. So I'm gonna just go ahead and, be upfront with it. It's not God that I'm gonna say a lot of us is worshiping, growing up in the church. Um, I'm not saying I believe in God. My faith is strong in God. I truly do believe in God. He's done too much for me in my relationship with him. He has proven himself, okay? So I know for a fact God is real. But what I'm saying is that there are fake prophets around here, ministers, bishops. I mean, it's a lot of them, okay? And it's the ones you least expect. There are false prophets. And a lot of them are trying to portray themselves as if they are God. Okay? They want not per se they saying they are God, but want to be worshipped as if they are God. Like, and another thing is a lot of these religions are actually cults of the devil. And what I mean by that is a lot of these churches that are saying they representing God and that's who they're praying and worshiping, it's not that. And the flock that is following behind them is worshiping the same God that they are worshiping, not realizing it's not the true divine God. And it might be too late for some. It is too late for some. And there are some that still are able to be saved. Y'all, a lot of it messed me up. It's a lot of things because also in the dream it took me back into like this reality. Like the people started looking and dressing like how we do now. And it was showing me certain type of couples and all that type of stuff. Um a lot of us gotta get right. And if you ain't got no personal relationship with God for yourself, I suggest you get to know him. And stop waiting for somebody to tell you who he is and what he is to you. Stop depending on everybody to pray for you. Really get to know him for yourself. Um, I'm not saying you gotta be able to quote the scripture back to back. What I'm saying is, if you know who he is for you, I suggest work on that relationship with him personally. Going to church, it could help. But like I said, you don't know who's real right and who ain't. And everybody can't pray for you. There's a lot of spirits and entities out here. And a lot of us, if you don't know the spirit by the spirit, you're not going to be able to decipher what's what. And that's where a lot of souls are going to be lost. Um, yeah, it's time. And I don't know exactly what that time is, but it's time. And I'm not sitting here trying to put fear in nobody, scare nobody. It's just simply saying it's time. It's time to start building your relationship with God. It's time to start working on yourself, taking accountability. Stop holding grudges. Stop letting what others do and say about you interfere with who you are and who you truly supposed to be when it come down to God and your calling and stuff. Don't let nobody interfere with your relationship with God. Don't let nobody tell you how you supposed to have a relationship with God. Everybody is different. Just like everybody has their own DNA, you and your relationship with God is your own DNA. That's how you got to look at it. He is within you. Nobody can change that. Nobody can take that away from you. So if you truly believe in God and you know who He is to you, I suggest you work on that. If anyone judge you, then you know that that's the person that you need to stray away from. You know, um, a lot of people are under attack. It's obvious. I mean, it's them times. It's really obvious. Like you ain't got to be spiritual to see what's going on. Um, it's a reality check for a lot of us, and I'm just glad I do have a personal relationship with him. I'm glad I stay prayed up. I'm glad I pray over my kids because you never know what type of spirits and entities is really out here, you know, trying to attach themselves to you and your family. You have to stay prayed up and you definitely have to know who God is for you and who he truly is because it's a lot of fakes around here and there's a lot of false guys around here that are lying to people spiritually. Because when I say spiritually, there are some good spirituals and some bad ones. You better know the difference. And I mean, that's all I got. I hope this helps.